We are today talking about fertility.
Should you be freezing your eggs? When does your fertility decline?
I got my contraceptive.
You got your coil out!
I just wanted to see what the hell was going on down there.
Yeah, sometimes it's nice to actually know what's happening with your cycle.
All I'm thinking about is my fertility, and all I'm thinking about is babies now. Wait, so if you haven't got sperm sitting in there, then you're not getting pregnant.
Frustration, out it comes.
So our eggs only live like 12 to 24 hours, but the sperm lives in there for around 5 days.
Yeah, I know.
That kind of like weirds me out. Like, what you doing down there?
Waiting for an egg. It's kind of weird.
It's
just waiting.
We spend our whole lives being told how not to get pregnant. But what happens when we want to get pregnant?
Why is it always framed as women having to do X, Y, Z to help their fertility when there's so much evidence to show that men have a huge part to play as well? We're going to break down this taboo in today's episode. This podcast is for general information and discussion only.
We're both doctors.
But we're not your doctors.
And this podcast does not replace personal medical advice.
If you have any concerns about your health or anything else we talk about, please speak to a qualified healthcare professional.
Content may include sensitive topics, so listen in a safe space that feels right for you.
Hi guys, we're back for another episode. Today we've got a brilliant episode all about fertility, which is really relevant to both Becca and I due to our age, and we know the same is true for a lot of our friends. So we really hope you enjoy the episode.
A few trigger warnings though. Today we are talking about fertility, miscarriage, abortion, and all things sex. So if this is a sensitive topic, either skip this episode or make sure you're listening in a safe space. We rolling?
We're rolling, baby.
It's episode 6 of Taboo Topics.
Should we make our own jingle?
I know.
I thought you were going to launch into a Christmas song there.
What song would our jingle be?
Taboo, 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 boo, boo, boo.
I don't know. The way that you were looking at me saying that, I'm literally like, what the no.
You're enjoying it.
That was my uncomfy face. If my uncomfy face looks the same as my enjoyable face, that really does not bode well for me. Boys are like,
you smiling at me.
Boys are gonna be like, do you like that? And I'm gonna be like, no, I don't like that.
Yeah, you change it to that, I'd know you're uncomfy if you're crying.
So tearing up. There's another option. Any other options of jingles now? I think
no.
And we're not going to have that. We'll go back to cue the normal jingle. How are you?
I'm good, my girl. I'm good.
Good. Nice to see you.
It's nice to see you.
And I'm so excited for today's episode.
I know, me too. We've been looking forward to this one.
I know.
This is one that's like relevant to us. This is one that's kept us up, like
I know.
Googling, researching.
I know, but from like a personal point of view as well, like we're so interested about this, and like this is so prominent in our lives, and that's like. It is, we are today talking about fertility.
Yeah, we're talking about fertility. Should you be freezing your eggs? When does your fertility decline? Should I be getting pregnant right this second? Like, am I running out of time? These are the questions that I'm asking, my friends are asking, or like people aren't asking, and then they get a shock later and it feels stressful. So we want to debunk some myths. We want to give you the facts.
Sasha, I want to know the information myself. So I've been like researching myself, but like, because I think bear in mind, like we are two women who are in completely different stages of our lives.
Yeah.
Like I'm a 29-year-old woman. I'm single as fuck. No man loves me. I'm so far off getting married, getting a house, having kids.
Yeah.
Like, but
you're living your life and that isn't something that you want to do right now. Yeah.
So it's not a bad thing, but then I'm very conscious of the fact that you are in a very different part of your life because...
Yeah, exactly. So I'm 31. Me and my partner bought a house. We're getting married.
Yay. Oh, wait, while we're on that, can I have any wedding updates? Any wedding updates at all?
We have paid the deposit for our wedding.
Yay!
Yeah, May 2027, locked in.
Nice. Oh, amazing.
So that's exciting.
I guess is a deposit must be expensive though.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah. Just doing extra locum shifts trying to save up for this wedding.
Yeah, exactly. That's
oh my God.
Exactly
I don't even want to know how much a wedding costs because I feel like my brother got married, like 10 years ago? And like...
God, your brother got married 10 years... How old was he?
24.
What? Sorry. We need to... Is your brother religious?
No, but he was about to die.
Oh, it's that brother. Okay. Right. I'm so sorry. I was not imagining. Right.
backtrack. No, I'm
Fuck's
I'm so totally chill about it. It's fine. No, to be fair, he'd been with his partner. They'd known each other their whole lives. Our dads went to uni together.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah,
now.
and then so they knew each other since they were born. Like he knew his wife longer than me.
Yeah, it's like family friends.
Yeah, and they were together for like 7 years before that. So like,
Aww.
and like also like it's really funny because like my brother he just settled down so quickly. He wanted the house, kids, wife, whatever. Whereas me and my other brother were like, will we ever get married? I don't know.
Yeah,
like
living my life.
So different.
But, oh no, that's so fair then that he wanted to get married. Sorry. I was imagining your other brother and I was
no.
I didn't know they were married. I didn't know they got married like before he went to medical school. That's what I was like thinking.
Oh no. He's only been with his partner, I say only like 6 years now. They COVID time. But like even when my brother was getting married, like he did it cheaply and it was still, I saw how expensive it was. I was like, that ain't cheap. That is so expensive.
It's crazy. And it just adds up as soon as they hear it's a wedding. It's like the money on it just goes up.
Can you lie? Is that a thing?
I don't know. I know there's like someone, I heard a story of someone who had who tried to have their wedding party at an Airbnb.
Yeah.
And then they got noise complaints and then the owners came and shut the party down. Obviously it was their wedding.
Stop.
So everyone just had to leave.
Stop. No.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
God.
I think, you don't want that to happen.
Don't risk it. yeah, maybe not worth the risk.
For a chocolate biscuit.
Not even in like if you're doing a abroad wedding.
I don't know. To be honest, I wouldn't want to risk it either.
Valid.
You fly everyone out and then the wedding gets cancelled.
It would make for a good story on the podcast.
Yeah, it would, but no. So yeah, wedding deposits paid. Haven't really like told everybody yet.
But
just
from now.
Because I feel like as soon as I tell people, I need to like actually send out invites.
Yeah.
It's far enough away that hopefully people won't be booking that up in like a year and a half. So I need to sit down and do that at some point.
That's stressful. So sorry I've raised the conversation now and you're like,
yeah,
I don't want to
really awkward.
I don't want to talk about this Becca. Okay, we'll just retract that. Anywho,
yeah.
My news.
Yeah, news.
No, speaking of fertility today, well, I got my contraceptive.
You got your coil
removed.
out.
Not because I wanted to get pregnant, guys, but I just wanted to see what the hell was going on down there.
Yeah, sometimes it's nice to actually know what's happening with your cycle, isn't it? And feel a bit more in touch with your body.
Yeah, so I had my coil out now, and I think, I don't know whether it's like researching for this podcast episode or it's the fact that like now I'm kind of just waiting for my period to return post coil removal. But all I'm thinking about is my fertility and all I'm thinking about is babies now. And so I just really want to like deep dive into this topic. And I feel like a lot of other women like getting to 20, I mean, all these women like turning 30, like if anyone's like me, like it's just something you think about at this age suddenly.
It is.
It's like a little alarm bell goes off and like,
ding,
okay,
ding, ding, ding. Honey, your time's running out.
Oh, no. That's how it feels. That's how I feel.
I know. I think as well, we don't want this episode to be like a scaremonger like episode. It's about educating and actually giving you the facts so that you are empowered to make decisions.
100%, because I think, like everyone has got completely their own journey when it comes to fertility. I think all we can do is be armed with the facts. And I think the more we can understand our bodies and how it's working and like knowing if there is an issue or something that we should raise so that when we do, if we do want to have kids, it's not a big shock that you suddenly are like, I want a kid. And it's like, oh, well, actually, babes, this has been going on for years. And you're like, oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I did a diploma in fertility, contraception. Yeah.
When?
About 4 years ago.
I'm not gonna lie, Amber, you're that kind of person, you've literally done everything.
I mean, I don't think I've done everything, but I am interested, like, it's, sexual health.
But when we were even at uni and you're like, yeah, I just own a business. I was like, we're at medical school and you've got a business as well. And now you're saying that whilst you're working as a doctor, I just did a diploma. Like, okay, right. Okay, what was a diploma in?
Sidetrack. It was, so I was sat there like studying and there was this graph that shows your fertility and it shows your age. It goes from 30 to 40 and it's just this line that goes like, and I was like, oh my God. I was about 27 at the time and I was like working at our dining table. My boyfriend was on the sofa and I was just looking at him like, oh, we're gonna have a baby now.
Oh, have a baby now.
Baby right now. I literally said to him, I was like, I think we might have to have a kid. He was like, what?
Wait, how old were you?
We were 27.
Oh.
Like, you know, I didn't want to have a baby, but I was like, time is running out, and I really, really freaked myself out. But then I did a bit of a deep dive there as well, which is what we're going to do today. You do not need to panic.
I'm panicking, I'm not gonna lie. You've said this, and I think when you just showed the graph and Amber just does a big woo down. And also I've seen this graph, and annoyingly, like, I mean, you have a gentle decline in your fertility, basically. And also to say, like, fertility is the ability to, like, conceive children.
Yes.
And then for women, it's kind of like gentle decline as you getting older. And then when you hit 35 to 37-ish, it's like it just goes whoop.
Yeah.
That's why I think women have that like panic more, because we have to think about it so much sooner than men do as well.
It's so annoying, isn't it? It's classic.
What is happening when we are fertile? What happens with our fertility?
So you're most fertile kind of late teenage years into your 20s.
That's long gone. That's gone. See you later.
That is in the past.
See you later. Kiss that goodbye.
And then as I said, like from your early 30s, your fertility does start to decline a little bit, but you're still fertile. And then by the time you hit 37, and at that age, you've got around 25,000 oocytes, which are eggs, which sounds quite a lot. But in your most fertile, so when you're a late teen to your 20s, you've got 300 to 500,000.
Where my eggs gone?
So, you know, you still got lots, and you might just fall pregnant really easily. Everyone's different, but it has obviously decreased. And as you get older, the number of eggs you've got decrease, and the quality of the eggs decrease. Yeah. So if you've got a decreased quality egg, then it means that you're more likely to have a miscarriage, or you might not be able to fall pregnant, you know, in the first place. So as you get older, it gets more difficult to get pregnant and have a successful pregnancy.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing with the quality versus quantity of eggs. You don't really have any say on it, do you? Like, you obviously are some things you can do to control your quality of your eggs, but in the grand scheme of things, there's a lot of things you can't control when it comes to quantity and quality of your eggs. So it's just like you just suddenly get to your age when you want to have a baby, and you're like, oh, let's just see what's down there.
Exactly.
Before we go into like the risk factors of like how we can like increase or reduce our fertility, can we talk about a little bit of the fertile window as well? Because also when we're looking at fertility, we're not even like able to have a kid the whole month, really, are we?
No. So, and I think a lot of men don't know this.
What about the fertile window? They just know that we must have sex all the time. We can have a baby. But there's only a small chance. So say, take a 28-day cycle, for instance. In that 28-day cycle, we're only really like fertile in like 6 days, aren't we?
Yeah, around 6 days.
And then for those 6 days, at the end of those 6 days, we have then ovulate, and then we kind of release an egg.
Yes.
And then that is kind of like prime time, really, to like be fertile, isn't it? Just before the release of the egg.
Yeah, just before the like few days before is kind of when you're at your peak fertility. Interestingly, your egg that you release every month, it only survives for 12 to 24 hours. 12 to 24 hours. Gone with the wind.
Wait, so if you haven't got sperm sitting in there, then you're not getting pregnant.
Crustacean, out it comes.
But so our eggs only live like 12 to 24 hours, but the sperm lives in there for like around 5 days.
Yeah, I know.
That kind of like weirds me out. Like, what you doing down there?
It's just hanging out, waiting for an egg. It's kind of weird. It's just waiting.
And then after 5 days, they go. But if they don't see an egg in that time, then you're not having a baby, and then you're not really fertile the rest of the window as well, which I think is where they have like those fertility trackers too, don't they? I don't know what your thoughts are on these, because you can use an app which has a fertility tracker, and then some people use it for contraception, which has its arguments for and against. We won't go into that today. But for tracking your fertility, it tracks when you will be ovulating, when your egg will be released, and that can really help tell you when your fertile window is.
Yeah, I think obviously if you're just using an app to track, it can give you a rough idea, but it's, you know, not super accurate.
It is nice to track your cycles in general. I think it is just good to know where you are in your cycle and know if they are regular, especially if you are coming to that period of like, do I want to have kids in the near future?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let's deep dive into some risk factors or things that can reduce your fertility.
Yeah.
Okay, so main one we're saying is age.
Yes.
We know that as we get older, our fertility goes down. And like literally just like, I remember actually sitting in like a fertility clinic as a doctor, as a medical student.
Oh yeah, I remember that as well.
And like literally they were like, the doctor was obviously counselling the patient about her declining fertility. And I was just sat there, I must have been about like, what, 20 or something? And I literally was like, I could hear the clock going. And like, even now we're talking about it, I'm like, every day I get older, I'm getting less fertile. I actually can't think about it too much.
Stop.
No. Okay.
Finish the episode though, and then stop.
And then stop, right. And then other risk factors, smoking's a massive one, isn't it? I mean, but the good thing is that if you quit smoking, that can really improve your fertility, can't
it? Can kind of return to near normal or if not normal.
Yeah, so if you're trying for a baby, and definitely if you are pregnant, stop smoking, that can really help.
And that goes for men too. So we're gonna get on to the men, because it's not just a woman's job to, you know, manage your fertility. There are things that men can do too, but we do know that smoking affects egg quality, it affects your chances of getting pregnant, and if you do get pregnant, it does all sorts of things and can negatively impact the baby. So it's a really good idea to stop smoking. So as well as smoking, alcohol can have an impact on your fertility, and doing recreational drugs as well. So they're all kind of modifiable risk factors that you can stop and your fertility should increase.
Less wine for Becca, please. So another big one is like BMI, and this is for male and female. So this is also like people who are obese or underweight.
Yeah.
Also, if you're underweight, you might not be having periods altogether.
Exactly.
So it's definitely something to be looking at, which is another reason why tracking your cycle is really useful. And then another one, like looking at like pollution and like genetics as well.
Yeah, absolutely. There are as well medical conditions that can affect your fertility. So polycystic ovary syndrome, endometriosis, if you've got endocrine disorders like thyroid dysfunction, they can obviously have an impact. And there are as well genetic disorders. So there's a whole host of things, some which are in your control, some which aren't. Another important thing is having a balanced diet as well.
Yeah. We are here to break the stigma.
But we need your help. Please click that subscribe button.
It literally takes 2 seconds.
Have you done it yet?
Now back to the episode. There's so many factors that come into fertility, and like especially when you're looking at it, is like infertility is a partner diagnosis. Really, it's like it's male and female. So when as soon as you've got 2 individuals factors joining together, then there's so many like a host of things that can go wrong. So you have to be open-minded when it comes to like fertility. Really, we know that as we get older, our fertility declines. But we also know that we are having babies later in life. Like, if we know our fertility is decreasing, why are we then also having babies later? Like, surely, like, we want to be having babies sooner because we know our fertility reduces. Like, why do you think that is?
It's really interesting. Like, we're having babies on average 5 years later than we were 50 years ago.
Oh, gosh.
5 years doesn't sound like a lot, but in terms of evolution, our bodies have not had time to catch up to that.
No.
So in terms of why we're having kids later, things have changed so much in that 50 years. We have so many more opportunities than we did before. Women are educated better, they're able to have careers, they're also not necessarily getting into relationships as early because they're feeling more independent. They don't need to rely on a man for an income.
100%.
And it's also got more expensive to have kids.
I know. So the thing is, like, you now need like to have a kid. I mean, it depends where you're living, all this kind of circumstances, but like 2 salaries really to like
buy a house.
To definitely to buy a house and to have children. Like, you need, like, having a double salary really helps. But then how are you going to have a baby? Because a lot of people won't get covered by maternity leave or be able to afford the child as well as the house.
And childcare
as well. Like what we were saying earlier about like what we think the maternity pay is for like NHS, and like it just doesn't sound like enough. It's like months, isn't it, as opposed to like being covered for years. And it's like, why would I want to then have a baby any younger? Like, surely you're waiting till you can be really established in your career, aren't you?
Exactly, yeah. And also people now don't feel like they have to have children. A lot of women don't want kids, and that is a little bit more accepted than it used to be.
Oh my God, 100%. I feel like that would never be a case when we were younger at all.
No, I still think people do question it. Like, I have a friend who doesn't want to have children, and people go, why? And it's like, because I don't want to.
I don't want to.
And that is that should be okay. But it's definitely more accepted than it used to be. It would be like, oh, is it because you're barren? That would be something people would say in the past.
Gosh.
So I think it is also about choice. People don't necessarily want to have kids.
Yeah, I'm really glad that has changed in society. Like, I feel like if any of my friends or like my circle, like said that they didn't want to have kids, like no one really bat an eyelid. And like, I'm so glad I've surrounded myself with people like that. But I know that's not the case for a lot of people as well.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know if I'll end up having kids. Like, I'm one of those people who's like, okay, I think about freezing my eggs because I'm like, I don't want to make the decision now.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to be 38 and like, I know, not have the choice, or like, I don't know, it's such a difficult one. But like, at the same time, like, I want to focus on my career right now. I'm not like, I don't want to settle down with a man. And then, I don't know, I went to see my friend the other day and we grew up together. And our mums were pregnant with us together.
Oh, cute.
So it's like one of those ones. And she's 29 as well. I think she's like 2 weeks older than me. She's got the house. She's got the husband. She's got the 18-month-old child. And I was like, how we've just gone in completely different lives.
And it's so interesting.
And I went around that house. I was like, oh my God.
This is stressing me out.
I know. I left there being like, okay, freeze my eggs.
Yeah, I know. And I feel the same in that I don't feel ready to have a kid yet. And that is because I'm doing loads of things that I want to do, like in terms of work. Like, I'm getting to a point in my career now where I want to focus on my job. I'm about to start like quite a stressful job from August in the hospital, and it's going to be a stressful year. I'd rather get that out of the way before I have a baby. But then,
what have you got next year?
So I'll be a medical registrar from August. Did you not know that?
You're going to be a grown-up.
I know. So it's going to be, be a bit of baptism of fire type situation. And I kind of just want to focus on that. So...
God, that's a lot to think about.
Why is my situation affecting you more than yours?
Because I care about you. And
you're making me more worried about me.
No, I 100% do not want it to come across like that. I'm just like...
No, I'm joking.
Like... It's just so much to think about, and like, men really don't need to think about this as much.
Yeah.
Which is annoying because like, male factors are so important in fertility as well. Like, I'm sat there busy thinking about how fertile I am and making sure that I don't smoke and that my BMI stays okay and that I don't drink too much alcohol that often. But then, like, I don't even know what my partner's doing. Is my future partner even thinking about his fertility now? Because it's the same thing with him. Like, eventually his age will affect his fertility. If he smokes, if he drinks, if his BMI is off, that affects male fertility. Again, with like, male fertility is affected by such weird things. Like, I don't know if you ever heard about this when you were at school, but we were always told about, because we were one of those school years where we got laptops in year 7.
Did you?
So all the boys would sit there with laptops on their laps.
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, no, you can't do that because you're becoming fertile.
Because of your balls.
Yeah, because your balls. And I just thought it was like one of those old wives' tales that you're becoming fertile from having a laptop on your lap. But actually for men, because obviously you have sperm in your testicles, which are outside of your body to keep them a certain temperature. So as soon as you have a laptop and heat them up, or you go in the hot tub too much and you heat them up, that also affects your sperm motility and morphology, which is so weird.
It's so interesting.
I know. I was actually fascinated by that, but I thought it was just one of those old wives' tales, and now I'm literally like, oh God.
Yeah. I mean, so as you say, there are lots of things that can impact male fertility and sperm quality. There's same as women, really, like genetic conditions, or if you get mumps, for example, so if you get an infection, that can cause it. But then smoking, drinking alcohol, recreational drugs, under eating, if you're obese, all of these things can affect it. But interestingly, the sperm life cycle is 74 days. So if you stop all of those things, 1 to 2 sperm cycles, so kind of roughly 3 to 6 months, and you should have good quality sperm again.
Okay, so it's quite reversible, the causes, really, for a lot of the cases.
With a lot of them. Yeah.
Interesting.
Right, so you said you might freeze your eggs. Have you looked into the process? Have you thought about when you'd want to do it by,
Oh God, this is no, those are really heavy questions.
No, sorry, actually. We can talk about it generally if you want.
I suddenly was like, oh my God. The thing is though, I actually do think I need to do it soon.
Okay.
I have genuinely sat down and thought about this, because I don't think, guys, if you haven't realised, I'm so single. Not that I've said it enough on this podcast, but like I haven't got a partner. So realistically, if I want to have meet someone, be with them, get married, and then like do all that process, like I'm years away. And I know everyone says it kind of like speeds up when you meet someone at like our age.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it's something that I do need to consider, and I definitely want to be armed with the facts about it. But it does seem like it's a bit of a process.
Yeah.
And it's not something to take lightly, especially I think we're talking about egg freezing, but just to like to mention before this, like this is a very expensive process. And I think we're talking about this from a massive place of privilege here to even be sat thinking about freezing eggs. Yes, you can get some things on the NHS, but then to be able to like even talk about egg freezing is such a privileged place to be. But it is really expensive.
Yeah.
And like also with my work, the fact that I'm like freelance or like self-employed, like I have probably a bit more leniencies as well. Though interestingly, there's some companies which are now paying for their staff to have it.
Oh my God.
So I guess if you want your females, your workforce to like stay in the work longer. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm like, this is good, but also
it's interesting because it might not.
It's interesting
because I guess it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to stay in the work longer, because if they're going to have a kid at some point, they're going to have maternity leave at some point. But it maybe gives their staff more options, which is really good. That's so cool. If you're thinking about freezing your eggs, is there a time that you should think about doing it in terms of age?
Yeah, so this is the thing, like when it comes to egg freezing, like we know that your quality of eggs decreases as you get older. So it is better to do it sooner rather than later. And they do say like before 30 is best. And then obviously then before 35 even like is the next one. But like, so that's what I'm kind of like, I'm about to turn 30. I need to do it now. The other option is you could do frozen embryos.
Oh yeah.
So obviously you need a sperm to fertilize your egg if you're going to do a frozen embryo. The issue with it is that obviously if I freeze my eggs, then I have complete control over them. So like if I want to store them forever, great. If I want to use them, great. Obviously, if you're using an embryo, you're using male DNA as well. There's someone else who's participated in this. How eloquently I'm saying this, but it means there's a lot of legalities around it as well.
Yeah.
So actually being able to use it has a whole legal side. So say for instance, then like say me and my husband. Okay, say you and your fiance.
No, we can do you and your husband.
But I was like, I have to have a fictional husband.
It sounded quite nice.
Me and my hubby. Say we had a frozen embryo and then great, and then one day we break up.
Mm-hmm.
But then what happens to that embryo?
Yeah.
And then
if you want to use it.
And then say I became infertile.
And then you needed it.
And I wanted to use it. He has every right to
say no.
Yeah. And I think it does, like, it's a legal situation, but it's like, then you don't own it. And then that would just be such a conundrum.
Horrible situation to be in. That is a conundrum.
That is a conundrum.
I've never heard one.
Okay, so say I wanted to check my fertility though. Like, how would I go about that?
Yeah, so if you were kind of concerned about your fertility, been trying for a baby and you can't get pregnant, there's several factors that they will look at. So first of all, they want to check that you're having regular cycles. Mm-hmm. So are you getting your period regularly? If you're not, then they can look at your hormone levels to try and work out, got PCOS, for example, you might still get those changes, but you might not get the period. So that's the first thing. The second thing is looking at other hormones. So there's something called anti-Müllerian hormone.
Mm-hmm.
AMH, yeah. And that in essence checks your egg reserve. So how many eggs are they estimating that you've got? And that goes down as your egg count goes down. They'd also look at other hormones as well. But this, I think AMH is an interesting one because it sounds like, oh, great, I could just check this blood test, and if it's high, then fantastic, I know that I'm really fertile. But actually that isn't how it translates in practice. So it's really useful for things like egg freezing or IVF, because it gives them an idea of, how many eggs might we be able to retrieve? But it doesn't necessarily correspond to the chances of you falling pregnant naturally. So you might have a high AMH, but you might still struggle to fall pregnant. The same is true of the reverse.
Is AMH one of those ones that are using these at-home testing kits?
Yes, it is.
What are your thoughts on the at-home fertility testing kits?
I think that's a good question, because I was considering getting one a couple of years ago, and I had a look into it, and I was like, oh, it's actually really expensive. I'm just going to call my GP and have a chat with them about it, because it is just a couple of blood tests at the end of the day, and hopefully they'll do it for me for free. And I had a chat with my GP, and she was really nice, and she was like, oh, I'm your age as well, and I've got friends who are in similar situations. You're just worried and you want to make sure to have autonomy and control over your body. But she was like, I don't recommend we do this because I was on hormonal contraception, and that can impact the results that you get. So if you are on any hormonal contraception, even the Mirena Coil, then it can affect the results and give you false readings. On my research, that's what she told me at the time. So I was like, fine, I won't do it. On my research since then, looking at all the papers and the evidence, I now know that actually it doesn't necessarily correspond to the chances of you falling pregnant anyway, in real terms. So if you're concerned about your fertility, then you should go and speak to your doctor, and you could go and get worked up for stuff. So if you've been, trying for a baby, you can't fall pregnant. But for me personally, it's almost like a bit of a MOT just to check. Doing some blood tests like AMH isn't really going to give me that information, and it might actually just make me panic. If my AMH is low, I might panic and then take action that maybe isn't necessary. So personally, for me, I wouldn't pay for a home test kit like that.
Yeah, and I think sometimes it can actually end up being more expensive once you get the home testing kit, because obviously that costs money, and then if you want to get follow-up scans or appointments or consultants, like it can just end up costing more than if you went private, or it's definitely more expensive than the NHS anyway.
Yeah.
I actually had got offered like a free blood test the other day. So I was like, I needed one anyway. So I got like my FBC and all my general kidney bloods done that I needed doing. And then one of the ones was like AMH. And I literally was like, oh, AMH, cool, I'll get that done. And it literally came back so low. And obviously then I was like panicked as hell. I was like, I'm infertile. I had the coil in.
So it might have changed the result, affected the result.
So yeah, the coil would have affected the result anyway. And also, like we said, it doesn't mean anything anyway. Like out of context, as someone who's not trying to get pregnant, like it was a pointless investigation to have.
Yes,
and it did give me that panic. So I think if you are wanting to investigate your fertility, just go see your GP.
Just go see your GP. And so just in terms of the other things that they might check for at a fertility clinic as well. So if your GP refers you, or if you go there privately, they might also look at the anatomy and just make sure that there are no blockages, make sure that everything looks like it's functioning with scans as well. So it's kind of checking your cycles as it should be, and you're actually ovulating, checking your hormone levels, and then looking at the anatomy.
Amazing. Cool. I think that was a massive whistle-stop tour on fertility, but I feel like we've covered quite a fair bit there.
We have.
I personally just love that conversation. I could talk about fertility and all that kind of stuff
and women's
all day, every
health,
day.
and just empowering women to have control over their bodies.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah. So we have the game green card, red card back again. And for those who weren't here last week, we basically got a red bit of paper and a green bit of paper in front of us. And our lovely manager, Charlie, is going to say some facts at us, and we've got to say whether it's a green flag or a red flag. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Hi, Charlie.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Right, this one made me laugh. True or false, or red or green, putting your legs up against a wall after conception for sex, will that help the sperm get there?
Red flag.
Red flag. No, so that doesn't help at all. So obviously, like when you have sperm enter vagina, this is where I get really awkward, but I mean the sperm enter the vagina, and it's a minutes thing, it's really quick, isn't it, how it just goes in, and so then putting your legs up against the wall, it's not going to affect gravity, is it? No,
I actually don't know. I don't know. I said red flag because I'm like, that's definitely like an old wives' tale.
Yeah, it's like because you have the ones of like people being like, oh, stick a tampon in, or like just, I don't know, don't pee after sex. Like people say all these things, but actually it doesn't really affect it. Like the sperm's gone quickly into the vagina. And then,
Is freezing your eggs at 38 a good idea because you haven't met the right person yet?
Obviously it's case dependent, but...
Yeah, I think obviously what we've said in the pod is that if you are thinking about freezing your eggs, the earlier the better. But if you're 38 and you haven't met someone, you should definitely explore doing it because... Yeah.
If you want kids, that could be a great idea.
Yeah.
So, yeah, green flag.
Okay, Becca, this might be aimed more at you.
Oh, God.
Should you take a social media detox because you're overwhelmed with the constant baby talk that's being thrown?
I was like, where are you going with this comment? I was like, just you as my manager being like, should you take a social media detox? I think you should.
Should you actually have a break?
You've been scrolling too much.
Oh, wait. Yes.
What was the question?
Should you have a detox?
A social media detox, if baby talk's getting to you.
Yeah.
I would say yes. I think a social media break in any, we say green
In
flag
any
for those
context,
listening. Yeah.
In any context.
Yeah. I think especially when like, I know I was seeing the other day when like something was just getting to me, just seeing the same things over and over and over again. It's just like at that point,
Have a
have a
break.
little break and then
Have a
eventually,
Kit Kat.
or try and figure out ways to change your algorithm. So just look up like dog memes or something like that.
Clever.
Or like, I don't know,
Clever.
making snacks or something.
Snacks.
Yeah. Anyway, well, that comes to the close of our episode 6 now. Oh my God. We're so close to the end of the series now. No, I don't want it to end. Thank you so much for watching, guys.
Yeah, thank you. We hope you enjoyed it.
Also, if you're listening on Spotify, remember to click the bell so you get reminders and to do 5 stars.
And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you click subscribe.
And Apple Music, 5 stars, please. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Thank you.